Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Let's wait a few seconds.
Thank you.
You can introduce yourself, please, until that.
My name is Haba Farah.
From where? Sorry.
I live in Egypt.
Okay. Welcome, Farah. Any other, please?
My name is actually Maru
Okay, from where?
from Redwa.
Great.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
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 Hello. I'm Elias from Jima.
Welcome, Elias from Jima.
Welcome. Thank you. I am from Jima, Elias. My name is Elias from Jima. EELPA community.
Welcome, Elias.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. We should discuss. We'll wait for some until the program session starts. We'll wait patiently.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself until we start. Let us know you, participants.
Hello. Hello, I'm Tamasgi Abebe University, Abebe.
Welcome to Tamasgan from Modawlabu.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. I am Irene Chai from Tanzania.
Welcome, Erin Chine from Tanzania.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Let's start maybe. The time is just
إنها 6:04 مساء للاستماع إلى الإشعارات. يرجى اتباع الإشعار على هاتفك لمنح الإذن بالوصول إلى الإشعارات.
Hello. Hello. Are you hearing me? Welcome, Salamawit Saudi.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's start our webinar. And formally, hello, everyone.
Okay.
I would like to welcome you all participants to the Women Webinar Series 3. I'm Adanich, PhD in English Language Teaching from Abebe University, a Vice President for the South Chapter of ELPA. And the opening will be done by Abebe, Vice President of ELPA. And the biodata will be read by Maria. And the two presenters will present their topic. If you have any question or comments, you can write in the chat box, and we'll give a chance for 2 or 3 persons orally to participate. Finally, we'll have a closing with Nabil and certification time after you completed the form. Now, let's get started and over to Abebe, the Vice President of ELPA. Abebe, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, open.
Can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to welcome everybody to this ELPA's Female Webinar Series 3. This platform is dedicated to supporting and uplifting female English language teachers mainly. This platform is one of the many platforms of ELPA working on continuous professional development activities. And the theme of this series is innovative teaching strategies for women in ELT. I'm sure you'll enjoy the presentation, but for this to happen, your active participation is pivotal. I hope this will be a collaborative experience that leaves everybody feeling inspired and equipped to take on each and every experience in your classroom. Before everything, I'd like to thank all that makes this series possible, especially Tsigereda, Sisaynesh, and Dr. Adanich. And there are people who've been working untiringly to make this one happen, like Yosef, who is the president of Ethiopian English Language Professionals Association, and all these people should be thanked for their untiring effort to make this one true. So let's get started and make this a memorable, impactful experience. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone and welcome you to the webinar. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Adanich. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Abebe.
Thank you.
Next, the biodata will be read by Muslia. Muslia, are you there? Please read the biodata of presenters. Muslia.
She is muted.
It seems okay. Just let's sorry for the interruption and the inconvenience. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds, maybe. Hello, Muslia.
Hello, doctor. I'm here.
Okay, good. Just to start to read the presenter's bio. This is for you. The floor is for you. Just.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Muslia. I would like to introduce two presenters, Tsigereda Nigussie and Sisaynesh Abebe. Tsigereda Nigussie is an English teacher at Tsigereda Girls Boarding Secondary Schools and part-time instructor at Addis Ababa University, holds a BA, MA, and a PhD candidates in TEFL. She has 19 years of experience of teaching. She's also a trained and access teacher of a regional English language office. She is an ELPA executive committee member and a leader of Ethiopian female English teacher. So Tsigereda is married with 2 children. She's a dedicated member of ELPA and actively contributes to the advancement of English language education in our region and engages in professional development opportunities to enhance her teaching skills. So then I will come to Sisaynesh Abebe. Is a dedicated English teacher with over 20 years of experience in language education of different levels from primary to high school, and is currently serving as an English language expert at Abunogori Georgios schools. She holds a bachelor's degree in English language and a master's degree in leaderships and management. She is also a member of the Ethiopian English Language Professional Association. Her skills include classroom management, curriculum development, student assessment, and leaderships. Sisaynesh is passionate about educational technology and a literacy program, and she's committed to fostering student engagement and proficiency in English. This is all about their biography. So over to Dr. Adanich. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muslia, for reading their biodata. Now, the presenters will present their presentation. Now, over to Tsigereda and Sisaynesh. And while they present their presentation, please, you can write your comments and questions in the chat box, okay? Thank you. The floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Muslia, for your generous introduction. So our today's session, good evening, everyone. Our today's session is going to be about innovative technology, innovative strategies for women in ELT. In today's session, we are going to explore different innovative strategies that can help to empower women educators in ELT. When we say empowering women educators in ELT, of course, we don't want to offend our male participants here in this webinar. It's just because we wanted to give more focus on empowering women, because in many of African countries, as we all know, women are not having enough access to technology, enough access to development trainings, and other things like supporting themselves educationally and professionally. So that's why we wanted to focus on women. But we want all men are feeling that inclusive in our webinar too.
Sorry,
So,
Sisaynesh, sorry for my interruption. Would you share the slides?
okay.
Recording in progress.
Tsigereda, can you hear me? Can you share yours?
Shall I share for you, maybe?
Can you hear me? Yes, I'm
Okay. Okay, I can do it.
I can share with you.
All right.
Have you got?
You've got that?
Innovative teaching strategies for women in
Sure. Now go ahead.
Somebody's
strategy ያላቸው
all right.
ፈጠራ ችሎታቸው
You mute yourself, please. Now go ahead, please, Sisaynesh.
Unmute yourself, Sis. Sis, would you please unmute yourself?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So
Good.
we're going to explore these strategies, the innovative strategies that we need female educators to implement in their ELT classes. So before we go to the main discussion, we wanted to just highlight the importance of innovation in ELT classes. So what do you think is the importance of innovation? Why innovation is important there? Can you drop your ideas in the chat box, please? We can allow a person to speak, Doctor, if there is anyone willing to share idea.
Yeah, yeah. Let's wait them.
All right.
For a few. I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Okay, there are.
Yeah, maybe let's check that one.
Okay.
Innovation means new ideas or approaches. Yisma.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Any more idea?
More
about
idea
the importance?
From Erin Chani from Tanzania, I think. Help student to be creative.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, right. Yeah. I don't know his name, Technospark. Innovation means creating something.
All right. So we can share ours. You can drop your ideas. Keep on writing on the chat box. So the importance of innovation is, can you share the next slide?
Is it visible?
One is empowering, yes. One is empowering. We can empower educators, especially in our case, female educators, in teaching their language. Like they can learn different strategies to tackle the challenge that they face in teaching English language. They can also adapt the strategies to address diverse learning styles. They can adapt different strategies, innovative strategies, to address different types of students they have, and they can have a diverse learning environment, create a well-versed learning environment for their students. So it can offer them like an agency in their teaching practices. And the next one, to go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Tsigereda, and thank you for your invitation. And as Sisaynesh told you, we are going to talk about the importance of innovation in ELT classroom, especially for females. It doesn't mean that it doesn't include males, but it's just in the male-dominated country or continent, we have to focus more on females. That's why, but still it also addresses the males, okay? Try to have this consideration. And the next is preparing students for a globalized kind of world. This is because innovation strategy fosters the 21st century skills and prepare students to strive for globalized kind of worlds, and it equips them while the adaptability and thinking skills is necessary. For example, We have to prepare our students for globalized kind of world. How can we do that? By using these 21st century skills. What are these 21st century skills? We can see this 21st century skill into three kinds of skills, like the learning skills, the literacy skills, as well as the life skills. Regarding the learning skills, we have seen for the 4 C's. What are the 4 C's? The first one is creativity. While we are just preparing our students for creativity, we have to make them try to innovate or think outside the box. So we have to just encourage them to be creative enough, then they are going to have a unique solution for a certain problem. So we should make our students creative. And the second one is critical thinking. The second C is critical thinking. All the students should critically think about every issue. So we have to make our students a critical thinker. Here, they have to try to analyze, they have to evaluate, as well as solve problems, the already existing problems. The third C is collaboration. While they are working in teams, we have to make our students to work in teams. So when they are just simply working with teams, they try to develop a kind of collaboration skills. They share responsibilities, and they just try to understand each other. They have to understand the differences. So collaboration is the third C. The fourth C is communication. Communication in here, while they are working in team, they communicate each other. What kind of communication? Very effective communication. So we have to encourage our students to express themselves effectively through different mediums, like it can be in written, it can be orally, and in different ways. They can try to just express themselves very clearly, and they can communicate easily. The second is the literacy skill. Under literacy skill, we can just talk about the information literacy, the media literacy, as well as the technology kind of literacy. In the case of information literacy, as we know, there are a variety of information today. So we have to make our students very selective. So our students should identify, analyze, as well as use information from the reliable source. We have to make, or we have to show the direction for our students how to use these reliable sources. At the same time, the media literacy is also, the students should understand and analyze and create a sort of context for different across different medias. It can be in written medias, it can be different platforms like that the students use. So the media literacy is this. The third is the technological or the technology literacy. As we are living in the 21st century, this is a technological era, so that our students should be equipped with the knowledge of technology. So we have to, we teachers also should be very effective in technology, in the use of technology, as well as we should make our students effective in the use of technology. The third skill in the 21st century skill is life skills. What kind of life skill do you think that our students need to have? The first is flexibility. They should, or our students should always should be adaptable for the different flexible kind of circumstances. So they should adapt themselves, and they should cope with any circumstances. The second is the leadership skill. Our students need to have a leadership skill. So we teachers should make different situations comfortable for practicing such a leadership skill. The third is initiative. That means they have to be very independent of solving different problems. The fourth one is productivity. We have to make our students very productive citizens. How are we supposed to make them? By just simply managing time, to teach them how to manage their time, how to lead the different situations, how to just cope with different tasks. So we have to make them very efficient in time management, and should be very productive. The fifth one under the life skill is social skills. Our students should be socially very, they should build a very positive attitude towards their peers, towards the society, as well as towards understanding each other's. As they are living in a diverse situation, they have to understand and build a positive attitude towards their peer and their differences. So we have to just make or prepare our students for the globalized kind of worlds and make them equipped with the 21st century skills. And the next is harnessing. How are we going to harness creativity in the classroom? How are we connect creativity in the classroom? Sisa, would you please say something on this, please?
Of course. So to harness creativity, like it's good to create a real life connection to classes, to language classes. For example, when students are allowed to learn something that they know, something that's relevant to their lives, it would be very easy for them to say something. It can be just to practice the skills, for example, to speak about something they know is very easy for our students. To read something about what they know, what's around them, what's in their environment is very easy for our students. So it's good to create a good connection between their real life and their classes too. So creating a real world connection is one good thing. Another one is just encouraging our students to express themselves. How can we encourage our students to express themselves? Like we need to give them the way, the platform. They need to have enough of the language, like they're going to practice the vocabulary, the way they express themselves and everything. Then in addition to that, they're going to have the way. So if they are going to express themselves very well, if they have the language for that, and if they are encouraged to express themselves, it would be very easy for us to teach them the language. In addition, they are going to easily acquire what we want them to learn. So this is how we can harness their creativity. So the next is going to be integrating visuals. So you can go for the visuals.
Okay. Yeah, to add on what you have already said on encouraging how students to express themselves in here, in order to make our students to express themselves freely, as a teacher, we have to create a creative and safe and inclusive kind of classroom atmosphere or environment. In here, the students should always feel safe in order to express themselves in front of others. So as a teacher, we should always establish a classroom which promotes respect as well as active listening classroom. If they are feel respected and listened, they are going to be very confident enough to express themselves in front of others. The other thing is incorporating open-ended questions. For example, open-ended questions are always encourage students to promote, to just explain their thoughts, to just give their thoughts, and thought-provoking questions should be forwarded. At the same time, the third is provide varied kinds of ways for expressing themselves. Like some students might be very active in writing, so we have to create a conducive environment for such students to write and express their thoughts through writing. Someone might, or some students may like sort of acting, so we have to just create a sort of art kind of classroom in order to express their feelings in front of their peers. Sometimes it might be in a musical way. So we can also create some sort of musical ways. We can also dramatize to express themselves. So we have to create a conducive environment for our students to express themselves. Regarding the integrating visuals and multimedia tools, we have to incorporate different visuals like videos, digital medias, and to create diverse learning styles and make learning more dynamic and interactive. Here, we might say that as most African classroom situations, we don't have such technological equipments in the classroom, but still we can make our classroom, even though we don't have such technological stuff, we are just working in a resource scarce environment. In such a case, we can download different videos and audios and different materials from the YouTube. We can also download it from Khan Academy, or there are different open kind of educational resources. So we can simply download it and we can just play it in the classroom is offline. How can we just display that? We can use our mobile phone. We can also use, at least in a school-wide, we may have one TV and we can communicate with our school administrators, and we can have a TV room kind and we can display it with a flash. Or in a school base, at least we may have one kind of, at least one projector. So we can just display it through that projector, and we can show those videos, those slides, charts, and diagrams. We can also sometimes create a handmade kind of visual aids. It can be a flashcard, it can be diagrams, it can be charts. Even the students may draw different pictures of different stories, and we can display this in the resource skills. If your environment is very conducive and if you have appropriate visual multimedia tools, you can easily use those tools. But if you don't have, you can utilize the classroom creativity, you can say, by using the skills of your own drawing skills, or you can also use the drawing skills of your students, and you can display, and you can just create a kind of story with using the diagrams, so we can use that. And collaborative sharing resource. For example, we can also share different resources that we can display in the classroom from other teachers who works in another school. We can borrow such resources and we can display it in the classroom. So these are some of the ways that we are going to just make these integrated visuals and multimedia tools in our classroom for resource skills as well as resourceful classrooms. The next is implementing project-based learning. This project-based learning is very crucial for making this classroom very active and very interesting. Hands-on activities and hands-off collaboration can be used here in our classroom. For example, I am trying this project-based learning in my classroom this year. So I give my students to solve an English proficiency problems of our school students, and my students have already first did need analysis test. Then they just check the problem of the students, which area do these students need to be supported. So they did a sort of research. They gave a pretest for the students in pretests of different skills like the listening, the reading, the writing, and the speaking kind of pretests. Then they identify the problem. Now they have already identified the problem and propose a solution. And second semester, they are going to directly go to the implementation of their solutions and bring about a sort of solution for those problems and those gaps of our students. This is a project-based learning. This project-based learning is already conducted by students. They themselves is going to just create a sort of solution for the problems. This is a critical, they use critical thinking, they use their creativity, they communicate while they are doing and planning their work, they communicate each other, they work collaboratively. So all these skills are going to be done, or they are doing these skills in our school. So this is very crucial and very interesting for the students. Plus, whenever they meet, they use the English language. Every Friday, they submit their weekly proposal, weekly report, or they are going to write the weekly report in English. It also encourage and foster their English level proficiency levels. And the next will be done by Sis, and she's going to talk about innovative strategies. Before she directly pass to the innovative strategies, what kind of innovative strategies do you use to make your classroom very interactive and engaging? Would you please write this in your chat box, please?
We can also give chance for someone if they'd like to speak,
Okay.
share their ideas orally.
Sure.
At least for a person.
Mm-hmm. Who is the luckiest person now to share his innovative strategy?
Female participants, especially.
You are encouraged to participate here.
Of course.
But it also open for males, don't forget that.
I think I have to take the chance because there's a women webinar, right?
Of course, yeah. Fozia,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm from Hawassa. The innovative strategies that I use in my classroom is to give chances for shy students, I use a flexible grouping so that more able students can support the less able ones. This is one. And for using multimodal ways of presenting information, I bring printed out pictures, images, so that students can write on it, or they can have some conversation on the issues displayed on the image. These are some of the innovative strategies that I use. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you. Okay, Sis, will you continue, please?
Of course.
Please, the others, would you please share us your ideas in the chat box, please? Thank you.
Okay, I can see one that says dramatize tasks by using their creativity. Okay, that's one good thing. All right. So while you're writing your ideas, we can share what we have. Of course, we don't mean that these are the only innovative strategies. Just we wanted to share a few ideas on which you can develop. You can add, you can explore more about that. So the first strategy we would like to share is creative storytelling. So this creative storytelling can be done in different modalities, but we can just show you a few of them. Like the first one is role playing. Role playing can be just done by taking a certain scenario from that story, or if they are short stories, the whole scenario can be role played by your students. Students might practice the way those characters in the stories act, and at the same time they can express their language. They can implement the language structure that they learned, and the vocabulary they learned in different situations, in different real life situations. Because situations that we provide in the classes are limited, but when they are related to stories, you can give them varieties of different situations. So students can learn those different expressions and vocabularies that can help them to interact in those situations. Another one is story creation. You can create stories in your classes. Like our participant already mentioned, you can take pictures of some stories, like having a storyboard. You can pick different pictures that represent a certain scenario from the story. You post them in the classes. This can be easily used in limited resource situations too. So you can ask the students to narrate which part of the story that picture represents. So they can narrate the story. If they have already learned or read that story, that will be very interesting. Or sometimes you can also give prompts, like you start a certain story, a creative story in your class. I went out to the shop yesterday, and on my way to the shop, I saw a very terrible car accident. So this could be the prompt that you give. So your students are going to add at least one sentence at a time. So every student in the class is going to add a sentence and make the whole story. This would be very interesting. It gives time to think for your students, because critical thinking is one of the strategies that we wanted to meet for our students. So in that way, you can create stories. You might have even other ways of creating stories. Another one can be sharing real life experiences. Students might have different experiences, real life experiences. They can share that experience to their friends, or they can also share experiences of other people. They might pretend as if they are somebody else. It can be like a famous person, or it can be like a person that they know in their lives from a relative or a family. So they can share those experiences to their peers. So that would make a good platform for our students to create stories and to tell them to their friends. So we can go to the next strategy.
Okay. The next strategy is strategy 2, as I have already explained earlier, using visuals and multimedia learning. As I'm already mentioned, if it is a resourceful kind of classroom situation, we can use the videos and short videos, as I have already mentioned, and digital storytelling. We can help our students to create their digital kind of story if there is possible kind of resources. If not, we can make our students to create their own stories through writing, you can say, using paper and pencil. Meme are very interesting kind of ways to make our story fun and engaging. And this is the way how to introduce the language concepts and spark discussion, and the contents, it connects the students' interest. So they should just create a sort of interesting topic of their own, and they can just create their own memes. Meme might be displayed through different ways, through writing, games, videos, and we can just throw GIFs kind of things. So we can make our class using the second strategy to make our classroom very engaging and interactive. Next, the third strategy, Sis.
Yes, collaborative projects. I can see the chat box and somebody shared cooperative learning, which is very close to collaborative projects. So we can collaborate, we can teach collaboration to our students, as Tsege has already mentioned before. Collaboration is one of the 21st century skills. So how can we enhance, how can we integrate collaboration in our lessons, in our classrooms? One is providing a platform for group presentations. Students can be given with a topic, or they can choose any topic they like, and they'll bring some pictorial or visual aids to their class and present something. This group presentation can be like a report. For example, Tsege has been mentioning about a project-based learning. So her students, for example, might be talking about what they did throughout the past week in their projects. So they can make an oral presentation in their classes about the report. It can be a reporting at the same time, explaining different situations, different experiences they have while they are moving here and there to fill out the gaps that they wanted to fill in their projects. The next one can be debates. It's obvious. Many of us, we hope, use debates in our classes. So debates give a good chance for our students to express themselves, to express their ideas, to agree and disagree politely, to use the languages they learned in the classroom, the vocabulary they learned in the classroom very well, to implement them and to express their opinions and to support their opinions with evidences, to argue. Presenting argument and trying to persuade others is a very resourceful skill. It's something that's very important for our students, because we can see most of the time our students lack this kind of skill. They know what to say, they have what to say, they have the idea, but it will be sometimes difficult for them to persuade others. So expressing their ideas persuasively is something very important. So that can be another collaborative project, because debates are done in groups. Another one is a research project. Research projects can also be done in classrooms, like for example, from a simple survey up to a well-developed research. Our students can be given with a topic, or we can allow them to pick a certain problem, and we want them to solve that problem. We can help them. So allowing this can foster collaboration in our classrooms. You can go for the next strategies.
Okay, thank you, Sis. The next fourth strategy is experiential learning. This is very excellent kind of experience for our students. This is the first one is community-based project. At the same time, my second section is working here in community-based project. First, the students themselves have to identify a real problem of the society. Then they just go down to the society and search for the problem, the reason for that problem, and they are going to just be volunteer to work for that project, then they are going to address the local issues and those problems. For example, one of the community-based project that my students are working now is that there is a KG kindergarten around our school. So I just simply take them to that kindergarten and study the problem. So as you know, in Ethiopia, our government allows the kindergarten students, or just they forced them to teach English this year. So when we see their English command, it's not as such a good command. So what should we do? They said. So they just try to see the problem, what hinders the students to use English language very well. Then they see the problems, they see the school setting and everything. They interview the principal as well as the teachers, and they see the settings, and they are working how to improve the English commands of the school, that KG. So they are working, they just put their own solutions for that, and they put their own ways how to solve such a problem, and they are working on it. So this is very interesting. So finally, we are going to display their work, and we just make them to present their work in front of the different government officials, the school community, their parents. So this will encourage their innovative kind of works and their community-based project. This is very interesting. So I just advise you to use it for with your students. The second is field trip. As you know, students are very inspired by kind of trips. So we just simply take them to any, like it can be museum, it can be something which is cultural institutions, anything that adds something on their knowledge. And when they return back, we can just simply make them to use the language. First, we can just simply make them to present what was going on. Or we can also make them to write a report on the report of their trip. They can also just record their trip, then they're going to just make the others listen. We can just try to integrate it with the language to their field trip. The third one is practical activity. Here we have to incorporate what we have already taught in the classroom. So we have to just incorporate it into a real or practical activities. Like for example, we can just simply bring it to the real world kind of scenarios. Like if you just simply teach them expressing opinions, we just simply make them to express their opinions practically or in the real situation, in the real context. These are very crucial and very interesting, and which makes your classroom very lively. So that experiential learning, I advise you to use it in your classroom. Okay, the next. So gamification is also one of very important kind of method to make our classroom very engaging. So what kind of games do you use in your classroom? Would you please share kind of game that you use in your classroom very quickly in the chat box, please? Okay, Sis, over to you. The rest, please continue writing the type of game that you are using in the classroom. So, Sisaynesh, please, would you share your gamification, the games that you use in your classroom?
Sure. Okay. I've been looking at the chat box before, and some of our participants have mentioned that they use games in their classes too, to make it interactive. And that was a very good thing. And why games? We know games make lessons motivating, and they are fun to use in our classes. And they are also very much engaging. And through engagement, we can facilitate learning. Another one, they can foster the classroom environment, a positive classroom environment. As it has been already mentioned, our students need a very, very positive classroom environment. They want it to be given the chance. They have to know that there is someone to listen to them. There is someone who recognizes them as a person, as someone important. So through games, we can do that. We can also customize games to teaching different types of topics, and they can be adaptable to different levels, starting from primary up to high school, even to adult classes. So that's why we need games, or we encourage games to be used in ELT classes. Just to give you instances or to give you examples of some games, like, have you ever played Hot Seat? Does anybody know Hot Seat, the game Hot Seat? It's a game that we use to practice vocabulary. It's like you're going to divide the class into two different groups, big groups, and the two big groups are going to be represented by two students, one for each. So the two students representing the class are going to come out to the front of the class and stand facing their friends. And while they are facing their friends, they're not going to see the board from behind. So the teacher is going to write a word or show a word to the class. So the class, the two groups are going to explain. Do not say the word, but they are going to explain what that word is so that the two students, their representatives, are going to guess what that word is. So because we are putting them in front of the class while their friends are explaining, they're not going to just sit down like we're doing now. They're going to move here and there, just trying to listen to the expressions that their friends are telling them. So that's why we call it hot seat. They are not going to sit stable. The next one is like language bingo. Bingo can be used for practicing or reinforcing vocabulary, or it can be a grammatical item like teaching plural forms or teaching past tenses or different other vocabulary items. So the bingo is like you're going to make a chart or a small card with a table of 3 or 4 columns and 3 or 4 rows, and all that cells of the table are going to be filled with words. Like if you are teaching plurals, you'll fill them with plural nouns. So you have a list. The teacher will have a list, and while you are calling a certain singular noun, that singular noun has a plural form in the cards which you provide to your students. So the students are going to select, while you are calling that word, the students are going to mark on their tables, their cards. So the student who has got all his words in one row, like downward or across or diagonally, will just first say bingo. So at that moment, you are going to finish the game. So you are going to start calling another list. That would be a very good game for practicing grammar or vocabulary in your classes. Crossword puzzles and word search. I have been looking at someone mentioning this, asking puzzles. Yeah. So these are also very good, especially when you are focusing on a certain theme. You can provide a crossword puzzle or a word search so that your students might practice, might find those vocabulary items that are focusing on a certain given theme in that crossword or in the puzzle. So using games can be very fantastic in our classes. There are many other games which you can share or which we can share too, but for the sake of time, we're going to move on. So while we're using these games, we need to provide our students some points, because if we give them points or if we reward them, our students might be motivated in engaging the game or in engaging the classes. So the classes will be very much interactive and having positive environment, and they also create a positive competition among our students. So that's all we have about games. And if Sego has anything to add on this point.
Yeah, I don't think we have time, so we have to quit here. Thank you for your time. This is what we have for today, and thank you for your time. It's over to you, Dr. Adanach.
Oh, thank you so much for using time effectively. And as well, I want to say thank you in general for sharing your experience and thoughts. Next will be the closing time. It will be done by Nabil. Nabil, are you there? Before that, I'm so sorry. Before that, if you have any questions or comments before closing, I'm sorry. You can write in chat box or else you can be maybe asked using orally. We'll give you time.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
So can I come in?
Sure.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Frankly speaking, this is one of the best presentation I have ever listened to. And I know that I'm in a ladies' world. I take that into consideration. But however, when I first look at your title, I was surprised whether there are innovative strategies which only belong to the female world. So I made my own reference, but I wind up with nothing. So still we are together. That's why I join your presentation, and I got lots of just new experiences and skills from this presentation. But I have two very simple questions. Now, yeah, of course, you talked a lot of new ideas and innovations that we use with our language learners.
Hello.
I think internet connection, maybe.
So until our participant is back,
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone writing to share the slides. We'll be sharing all the materials with you. So no worries about that. Yes.
Hello.
Someone?
May I ask one question?
Sure.
Presenters.
You can.
Hello, hello.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Isma is
Give me the
back now.
chance.
Can I proceed?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So can we integrate in a practical sense? Can we just integrate them with English language teaching classroom here in Ethiopia? What about the large classroom? What about the fixed curriculum the rigid curriculum that we have? What about the grade level? Can we just take this just to the countryside and then apply? What grade level are you talking about?
Okay.
Okay. This, may I or you?
You go ahead, Sugu.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your question. We really appreciate your question. Yes, as we have already mentioned earlier, it's not actually only for females, but as you know, in the male-dominated continent, we have to focus more on females, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't include the males, okay? Regarding your question, yes, of course, we can integrate this with English classroom. All these things, all these games, all these strategies and innovations are used to integrate with the English language. At the same time, the things that you mentioned about the fixed curriculum, the grade level, and the large class size, yes, we have to be contextual. If my class is very large class size, I use the grouping. If I group, I can manage it very easily in the case of grouping styles. So large class size can be manageable with grouping students. So one of the strategies, as we have already mentioned in our presentation, is grouping. The grade level, it depends. If we are working in a lower grade, we can use the word puzzles for lower grade stuffs. And we can also use the more grade levels, like the grade 11, 12 kind of things. We use project-based learnings and these like games like the hot kind of hot chair is also used for, it depends on the level. So we can just make it conducive to our grade level as well as the classroom size. Regarding the flexible fixed curriculum, I think it's up to you to choose your methodology that you use in the classroom. So whenever you teach vocabulary, You're not supposed to tell them the meanings of the vocabularies directly, but rather than this, you can use the games to play to teach the same vocabularies that is there in your textbook. If you are just teaching them a grammar lesson in your textbook, you can just make it in game. You can gamify that stuff rather than simply telling them or teaching them explicitly. So you can just modify. It's up to you. The class is yours. You are the manager of your class, so it's up to you to just cover your portions by using different games and strategies of innovations. Sis, do you have something to say on this, maybe?
It's just the same, but to add only a little point, like for example, especially if we are thinking of lower grade students, there are so many video songs to be entertained in classes, right? When you're teaching, like for example, for young kids, when you're teaching about the dates, there are songs to teach about dates and months, or there are songs to teach about prepositions. So instead of saying prepositions or teaching prepositions in explanation or through lecturing, why not? Why don't we bring a video or a song, an audio song to the class and share them? And we wanted our students to act what we're saying. When we say on, where is on? When we say in, where is in, kind of thing. So it's good. Games and all these strategies can be adapted. They are very much adaptable. So adapting it or being creative is up to the teacher. But all of them can be adapted even in low resource contexts. That's why we were talking about them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
But we don't need to focus only on things on cities or towns, because we at the same time know the level of our teacher.
Still interrupted. Would you repeat your question, please?
I think he has got a problem with internet connection.
I think we have to give for
the chance
another
to Muslia. Yeah, there was somebody.
yeah, Muslim.
May I come in?
The next question, if you have, please.
May I come in, please?
Good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Elias.
All right.
No.
I like the way the presentation was fantastic. I've never seen such a presentation. I like it very much. I would like to say thank you, both of the presenters, especially the regarding the innovative teaching strategies. She has already addressed different strategies. But in our my question is, when I come to my question, let me raise one point. Due to the limitation of our classroom size, or maybe due to the limitation of our rigid curriculum, sometimes these strategies cannot be effective, I think, in our context, because majority of our classroom situation, most of the classroom is large classroom size. That's why I hope this strategy should be effective, particularly for limited classroom sizes, rather than, a lot of students have in the class. And I hope there is also a limitation of resources in our context as well. There is a limitation of resource. How do we use such strategies when we are facing resources, about shortage of resources, as well as in the large classroom sizes? Do you think that is it convenient to use the whole strategies? Hello?
Okay.
Have you finished?
Okay.
Have you got me?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
I have already
interruption.
finished.
Okay.
Sorry for interruption, please.
Okay.
Time maybe forced us to stop, and then would you say something, either of you? Sure.
Okay.
Close on time.
Thank you for your question. I think I have already addressed such a question previously. So let me repeat once again. as I have already told you earlier, regarding the limitation of class size and rigid curriculum, yes, we know we have large class size, but we can still use these strategies by just simply grouping the students and minimize the number of students by number of groups. We can manage this with using this. At the same time, the limitation of resources, yes, I have already, if it is a resourceful classroom, we can use these technological tools. But if we are in the resource scarce environment and classroom, we can use variety of things. Like, for example, we can just simply download materials from YouTube, from Khan Academy, and there are different open educational resources like from the British Council, from American Embassy, or American English website. We can have variety of resources in teaching different skills, grammar, vocabulary, anything. We can download it and bring it to the classroom and display it or show the students. We can use our mobile phone. We can even have at least, there is at least one projector, so we can display it by projector in our classroom using just bringing into the classroom with a flash. And we can also create, if there is no any resource in the classroom, we can also create our own handmade kind of visual aids like diagrams, charts, and kind of clipboards, magazines, newspaper. We can just bring those materials, real materials, to the classroom, and we can just work in the resource skills classroom. We can also collaborate in sharing resources. We can share these resources from other school teachers, and we can borrow it and we can just use it in our classroom and can return it back. At the same time, we can use utilized classroom creativity. Our students might be very good at drawing. You maybe the teacher himself or herself is very good at drawing, so we can draw different pictures and we can just make them, the students, to write a story about the pictures. Or they can speak about the pictures. We can use a variety of ways in resource scarce environment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Time forced us to stop because we are running out of time still.
Thank you.
Let's leave. I'm so sorry for some of them maybe raising their hands. I'm so sorry for the time. And let's over to Nabil to close the ceremony. And Ababa will give a certificate for the presenters. Next to that, our president, ELPA president, Yosef, will share the link for the participants certification. Thank you again. Over to Ababa. Nabil. Nabil, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, the presenters. Thank you, Sisaynesh and Tsigereda, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you all for joining today's ELPA female webinar. Your participation and your insights have been invaluable. So in ELPA, we are committed to empower female educators through various initiatives. Like this, we have a female webinar series. This is series number 3. And we also empower women by establishing different regional chapters to different regions in Ethiopia. For example, our recent launching of the new ELPA chapters in Jijiga, Mekelle, Bahir, Jimma, and others now making the chapters in total to 7. So this creating chapters will definitely help teachers, local teachers, to get together and develop professionally. So thank you for your time. And as usual, we are going to give a link to your certificates. So just fill in the certificates, fill in the form. So this is a feedback form. After that, you'll get your certificates through your email. So many people are asking me how to fill their name or how to type their name in the PDF or in the certificate. So in the email, read your email, there is a short instruction that you can use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge to open your certificate, and that will help you type in your name. Or you can also open it with your Google Drive and type in your name. Once again, thank you, the presenters, and thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you for your time. Good night.
The link, please. How can we get the link?
Put the
Already
link.
shared in the
Yeah,
chat
we
box.
put the link in the chat box, so you can find it
Okay,
there. We send it again now.
yeah,
Okay.
better.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah. So we'll give you like 1 minute, just to use the link, and please do before we close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm doing that.
So where is Abebe?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
I provide the certificate. And
I couldn't find it. I was interrupted because of internet a few minutes ago.
it's shared. It's shared. I have
Okay.
shared for you.
Okay. Is it in the platform or?
It's shared on the Zoom. Can't you see it?
Yeah, let me check. I've got the form, but not the certificate, because since I was interrupted, it doesn't have history.
So can't you see? Can't you see like the shared
I
screen?
can't see. No, I can't see. Can you resend it?
No, you can like congratulate them anyways for the sake of time.
Okay.
And
I just want to congratulate the presenters, Tsigereda and Sisaynesh. You've done a very great job. This is how we can create that opportunity for many teachers to be empowered personally and professionally. And you have shared your lived experience. And for this, for sure, I mean, your contribution is really priceless, but we need to recognize that by giving you the certificates. And we are really we are really proud of whatever that you've been doing so far. Thank you, and thank you all the participants, because your participation here can show how committed that you are for your own professional development. So thank you for participating, get your certificate, and after you fill the feedback form. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good
Thank you.
night. Thank you.
So the
Thank you
link
all.
is now shared, and people can copy and paste the link. Okay.
Thank you very much. We have got the certificate. Thank you.